Hello, Scorpios, and welcome to this, your May 15th through May 31st reading and predictions. A very warm welcome to each of you. Let's dive right into your reading. We closed off your last reading, the reading covering the time frame May 1st through May 15th, with the Hierophant, the High Priestess, and what else did we have in your reading? We had three H's. The Hermit. The Hermit, the High Priestess, and the Hierophant. So, Scorpios, how much time have you actually spent on your own taking a deep dive into withdrawing from society a little bit with the Hermit, deep dive into meditation and intuition with the High Priestess, and a deep dive into the Hierophant work? I'd love to hear your comments down below. Let me know how you're doing. Let's get started with where you are at now. If at the end of this video it has resonated deeply for you, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help the channel to grow and for these messages to get out to more people. Okay, we are starting off your reading as we left off your last reading with the Hermit. So in the last reading, we closed out with the Hermit, the Hierophant, and the High Priestess, and we are starting again with the Hermit, indicating that you are still being called towards a withdrawal from society, a withdrawal from all of the chatter, the screens, the external stimulation, and a call back to meditation, quiet contemplation, reconnection with nature. So, Scorpio, are you fully embracing this? The other card that we have and where you are at now is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card that I like to call the accountability card. Now you'll notice here that the character has a blindfold on. It appears as though their wrists are bound, but the binding on the wrists is very loose. The blindfold is not particularly tight. The character is still able to see. And the swords that are surrounding the character are not placed in a way so as to keep the character trapped. This is a card of looking at our lives. When we complain about our lives, when we complain about where we're at in our lives, Scorpio, we have an obligation to ourselves to say, why am I where I'm at? If I'm miserable, what can I do to change it? That's the meaning behind this card. A lot of people interpret this card as, oh, you're feeling trapped right now. Well, yes, you are feeling trapped, but all of the tarot has a deeper meaning behind it. And the deeper meaning is, why do you feel trapped? What's the reason behind it? Are you feeling trapped because there is an external influence, or are you feeling trapped because there is something that you are not wanting to change? So it has to do with looking at the accountability, looking at your own life. So, for example, I'm going to use a big one here. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I hate my job. My job is so miserable, blah, blah, blah. My boss doesn't respect me. My boss doesn't pay me enough. I hate my job. So go get another job. Oh, I can't. I'm trapped in my job. Okay, so then you have a choice. Make the best of it or make changes. So, what is causing you, Scorpio, to feel like you are trapped in your life right now? The Hermit is asking you to take a step back without all the chatter and deeply explore what is making you feel trapped and why is that important? And is it within your control to be able to change it? These are the tough questions, Scorpio. Let's take a dive into what you are concentrating on, what you are focusing on. where you are putting your attentions. We know that our thoughts become our realities. So where are you putting your thoughts? You'll notice there's a card. It's going to come out here. And there's another one. So yeah, see, as I dropped it down. Okay. All right. So, Scorpio, we have two cards here that appear to have separate meanings. We have the Patience card and we have the Rebel. A lot of people would claim that the Rebel is a rather impatient character. But is he? Oftentimes, somebody who appears to be the Rebel is also extremely patient and calculating, and they have planned out exactly what they want to do. And although it may be rebellious and it may be out of the societal norm, they also have the patience to be able to plan. Interesting. Really interesting. So, going back to this Eight of Swords, Scorpio, where you may feel like you're trapped in your job, or trapped in a relationship, or trapped in a particular situation. Part of what keeps us trapped is that we don't want to appear as though we're being rebellious. Now, being rebellious, some people would say, is also equated to being reckless, but not if you have patience and you plan things out. The other thing is that this patience card corresponds to the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles message is, what you sow, so shall you reap. That's the message of it. And that there is a phase or a time for everything. You'll notice the character on here is pregnant. Well, pregnancy takes time and takes patience, and it comes in its own time. A baby is born in its own time, right? The phases of the moon. The phase of the moon is going to phase in and phase out, full moon to new moon to full moon. It's going to do it on its own schedule. It does have patience. So if you're looking to make changes and get out of a situation that is keeping you feeling like you are trapped and bound, plan, take your time. And although you may appear to the external world, those who are unfamiliar with you, that you are being the rebel or you are being rebellious, you're really not if you've taken the time to plan, to get out of a sticky situation. Let's face it, a lot of us stay in bad relationships or we stay in jobs that we dislike because we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to be the rebel. But if we take a step back with the Hermit and we have the patience to plan and to sow our seeds and tend our seeds, then we can reap the benefits of the change that is inevitable. Let's move into your difficult influences. Difficult influences and challenges for Scorpio for the latter half of May, please. Difficult influences and challenges for Scorpio. All right. We have the Knight of Cups and the Six of Swords. Okay. The Knight of Cups may indicate somebody coming along with the intention of distracting you from your endeavors, shall we say. Okay. The Knight of Cups is sometimes perceived as somebody who sweeps in with the intention of sweeping you off your feet or with a distraction. And this is coming up in your difficult influences. So there may be a distraction coming up from you pursuing a change, right? The Rebel is indicating that you want change. The Eight of Swords is indicating that you want a change or a shift, that you're not happy where you are right now. The other card that you have in your difficult influences is the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about walking away from something. It's about taking your swords, putting them on a boat, and paddling away from shore and leaving behind something that no longer serves your highest good. This came up in your difficult influences, Scorpio, indicating that part of what's keeping you feeling like you're trapped is because you're unwilling to walk away from the past. You're unwilling to walk away from something that is familiar. Let's take a quick peek at messages from the universe. Messages the universe wants you to hear. And that one is on the floor. That one isn't. Okay, let's see what went on the floor. Okay, so the first card. All right. Right from the start of this reading, Scorpio, there was an indication with this card of you feeling like you were trapped, feeling like you were unhappy about something, feeling like you did not want to be perceived as the rebel, and yet you know that you need to do something that may be perceived as being rebellious in order to get out of a situation. This came up in your difficult influences, the Six of Swords, indicating that you need to release something or walk away from something from your past because it's no longer serving your highest good. And in your messages from the universe, you have release toxic relationships. Release toxic relationships. So, absolutely, Scorpio, there is absolutely something that you need to walk away from. There is a relationship of some kind that is just, it's not serving you anymore. I'm not picking up, for the majority of you, I'm actually picking up this is more work related than personal or romantic type relationship. For a small minority of you, this may be about a romantic relationship, but for the vast majority of you, this is about a relationship that has to do with the way that you earn a living and you're not being appreciated the way that you deserve to be appreciated. And you have focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. The best way to release ourselves from this is not to focus on the negative. It's to focus on the positive. Let's take a deep dive into what is unexpected for you. And that one's on the floor. Unexpected for Scorpio. And we have one on the floor over here. It's going to take me a minute to collect up your cards here, Scorpio. Okay. So we've got 4 cards that have come out. Interesting. You have the Knight of Cups again. the second time, but it was the fourth card that came out. All right, you have two knights, one on either end of this. You have the Knight of Wands over here, and you have the Knight of Cups over here. And in the middle, you have two sixes. One of the sixes is the same as your difficult influence. It's the Six of Swords. Six of Swords here. And again, just to reiterate, the Six of Swords is about needing to walk away or release something from your life that is toxic. It's about walking away from something or someone who is no longer serving your highest good, who is breaking through boundaries that you've set for yourself and is no longer respecting you. The Knight of Wands is about taking action. He is about riding in with some kind of challenge and then you taking action to get through that challenge. What is that challenge? Well, because it's right next to the Six of Swords, that challenge is walking away. It's walking away from somebody that no longer serves your highest good. The very next card that you have is the Six of Cups. I do want to say with the two sixes coming up, you might want to pay attention to the 16th and the 26th of May. With two sixes coming up, they might be rather important. You also have a lot of knights coming up here. Mhm. Yeah. There's a lot of masculine energy coming up in your reading here, Scorpio, as well, with three knights as well as the rebel. The rebel corresponds to the emperor, by the way. Um, okay. Let me get into the Six of Cups here first. The Six of Cups is the card of nostalgia. See if it'll come into focus there for you. Okay. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It's about remembering the past very fondly. Is that a bad thing? No, actually, it's not. Remembering the past fondly is fine, so long as you're still willing to move forward. But if you remembering the past fondly is causing you to hold on to the past rather than walking away from the past, then that's not okay. So this is coming up in your unexpected, meaning that you are unexpectedly going to grasp on or hold on to something from your past and be unwilling to let go of it. And then you have the Knight of Cups here. And just to reiterate, the Knight of Cups is about someone coming along that might be trying to distract you or sweep you off your feet in some way, shape, or form. Um, so watch for that. Let's move into your final general overall outcome. And let me just reiterate while I'm shuffling the cards here. If this video and this reading is resonating for you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you will be notified next time I post a video. I have one card for you. It is on the floor. I really need a bigger desk. Anything else for the final general overall outcome for Scorpio, please? Fairies, anything else? Yep. One more, two more. Okay. Let's get your card off the floor. You have another knight in your reading. This would be the fourth knight in your reading. This would be the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about being cautious with your actions, especially when it comes to money at this time. The Knight of Pentacles is about paying attention to the details as well. Ah, Scorpio, you are a worrywart. In your general overall outcome, You have the Knight of Autumn, which corresponds to the Knight of Pentacles. Pay attention to the details with whatever changes you're making. Again, you have more masculine energy here. A lot of what's going on for you is caught up in your intellectual mind, as opposed to sinking into your heart, which is what you were being called to do in your last reading with the Hermit, the High Priestess, and the Hierophant. And instead, it looks as though with all of this coming up, all this masculine energy, all of these knights, the Emperor coming up, it seems as though you're very much caught up in your head right now. You have the Nine of Winter. This card corresponds to the Nine of Swords. This is a card of worrying, catastrophizing. Oh my gosh, worst case scenario. What if? And then finally, you have the Four of Autumn in your general overall outcome. Four of Autumn corresponds to the Four of Pentacles. This is a card of balance your budget. Make sure that you don't have more going out than what you have coming in. But this card has a deeper meaning as well. This card has the meaning of make sure that you're not coveting what someone else has. Make sure you're not basing your life on, oh, I want what they have. Because when you do that, you diminish your own abundance. You diminish your energy by craving or coveting what somebody else has, Scorpio. So, just to wrap up your reading, the very first card that you had was the Hermit, calling you towards meditation. And then you had cards indicating that you're feeling like you're trapped. And you are focusing on patience and the rebel. You're focusing on wanting to get out of that situation. We know that our thoughts create our reality, but there's a few obstacles in your way. One of the key obstacles is this Six of Swords that came in twice, indicating you're hesitant to walk away from the past. You're feeling nostalgic. Oh, maybe the past isn't so bad. Maybe the other person will change. Maybe things in my job will change. These three cards are indicating that it's not likely to change for you. And these cards are also indicating that when you're looking over the fence and craving what someone else has, you're creating more of this for yourself, more of this Eight of Swords feeling, more of this feeling like you're trapped because you can't have what someone else has. That's their life. You need to create what you want, Scorpio. Have a vision for the future. And clearly, you have a vision for the future with the Rebel and the Patience card. It's just a question of implementing it. All right. That wraps up your reading. Let's move into your yes/no question. So, for Scorpio, please pose your yes/no question. Yes, no. There we go. Oh my goodness, Scorpio. In response to your yes/no question, your answer is listen to your intuition. This is the one card in this deck that does not have a yes or a no, a specific yes or a specific no. This has to listen to your intuition. This goes right back to the very first card of your reading. You know what it is you want. You know what it is that you want to manifest. You're just hitting a few roadblocks. Once you successfully navigate those roadblocks, these two Six of Swords, once you're able to walk away from the past, things are going to move for you in a positive direction. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Please allow me the honor of doing your next reading for you at the beginning of June.